one bleed from this big one here, this big boy, 2 bleeds, 3 bleeds, 4 bleeds, and every bleed makes minimum 10k of damage. The rotation is to reapply all these bleeds and light attacks minimum every 10 seconds to keep up this high bleed damage, which is really important to understand, goes through shields. So if he overcast his shields the whole time, this doesn't matter, you don't need sharpened for this. Bleed damage go through shields, and for this reason these builds are really potential or really strong, because it's not good just versus stamina builds in PvP. Is awesome. This is like the Freedy Kruger build. He really hurts through shields, and maybe so you can win versus a very sturdy or very good Magicka build or Magicka player. Really awesome. Haha, yes, this is Imperial Unblockable Freedy Kruger updated cancerous Cancer Nightblade build with Vampire stage 4. We go in 33% less damage on 50% of health, and both stats and recovery, and the Serpent, which stacks up then over 2k of recovery. Potion wise, Essence of Health for all 3 stats, which is recommended for a ganker gameplay in the PvP, or the Essence of Weapon Power if you need even more crit for Major Savagery, because Major Brutality already got on this build. And first I have to say a huge thank to all the last subscribers. You guys make that awesome. This is so cool. This channel will grow up. If I use my Relentless Focus and I drink the potion, then we got the 2300 rounded of stamina recovery with 31k of stamina, with 19k of health and 11k of magicka for Dark Cloak, and also 3000 of weapon damage. Okay, with Dark Cloak 3200 with 61.3% of crit, and also 18k of resistances with 2k of critical main and back bar, and also with the 200 around the 3k of damage with 56.3% of crit, and the same, almost same recovery, 2171 of stamina recovery, which is needed for the PvP. Then in the PvP, obviously the health goes up to a 25k on the main bar, and yeah, 2200 of stamina recovery. Back bar, I think same, a little bit less, 1k less of health because of the shadow skill. For the sets there I chose one set which sustain my unblockable skills and bleed dots over time, and the second is here an axe of the Viper Sting and offhand a dagger, both in sharpened, and for the first time I use poison damage, the strongest poison damage over time, and on the back bar we have then a second axe, so I have on every bar an axe which shoots out a bleed dot, and the poison here immobilize your victim for 3.5 seconds and increases the cost of the victim magic ability by 60%. So, and here this drains makes poison over time, and the other one is really good for stamina as well, magicka, because also the stamina build use magicka. Rings, all in weapon damage and robust. And yes, what is to say about the Viper Sting? Adds weapon crit, max stamina, again a crit, and 7700, this is not boosted up, over 4 seconds, a poison damage every 4 seconds. I have slotted this set just on my main bar. The whole time I am on the main bar and afflicts with this poison damage over time the whole time. Really nasty. The second set is really awesome. There we got the chest in well fitted, which reduces the dodge roll cost. And then a blood drinker in divine. Impen with 3 stats live. And another divine. These are from the new dungeon because adds 800 of weapon crit, increases the weapon damage, another weapon crit, and he increases the damage of your bleed effects over 20%, which I have 4 bleed dots on this build. Like monster set, we use there the blood spam. I run 5 medium and 2 heavy. The shoulder are well fitted like the chest, so we got 8%, reduces the dodge roll and sprint cost, which is pretty good because as a Nightblade I really much dodge roll, and gives a 6% chance to regain ulti, which is boosted up with this build too. He gain really fast ulti and adds an additional 6300 of both resistances when you are attacked, and that's a really awesome set with the skills. Then also I can pop off my ulti the whole time because it's free. Okay, almost 370 ulti points for my Inky basic strike, 37 in the warlord and 9 in sprinter, then 56 in the mooncalf and arcanist 43. There I never heavy attack on this build and the recovery is enough. Befall 39, yeah, this is the reason why it's a 40% of less healing for my enemy. Stumbling, really important to reduce the cost of dodge roll 20%. From the blue tree we use 61 in Shadowing Blow versus the shield stacker at 20% versus shields. Master of arm 20%. Here all these perks, Salakov, here Butcher, 5% more damage under 25%, and here the tactician. When somebody attacks me and I dodge roll, he's off balanced because he here increases then at 10% off balanced. That's awesome. 20% thaumaturge and precise strike when I crit as a Nightblade, 10%, 30%, and just the left points in mighty because here we have heroism, which I gain a little bit ulti. Ironclad, 20%, really important for the PvP, and 51 for a little bit crit resis. And when I dodge roll I have more spell and physical resistances over 3 seconds. Cool. Yeah, all the regular stuff for luck, the perk of Unchained, really important for my build. And here we go. Now we're gonna look, if you are interested for the build, I explain all in details. Yeah. Yes guys, quick dual skills. On the main bar I use the dual wield, and the reason why I use that is because of 2 skills which will stack up with the blood drinker set. Yes, quick cloak, really important skill for the PvP. Create a ring of floating razor around you, dealing 1440 physical damage to all nearby enemies every 3 seconds for 15 seconds. So when you make that, par 5 makes over 7200 of physical damage over this 15 seconds. Then the razor shield you from sharpen, reducing the damage you take from area of effects attacks by 25%. 25% is a lot. I will say smart to use that, especially on a Nightblade which got not so a lot of resistances. Really awesome. Why is needed for a brief period after activate. You gain major expedition, increases your movement speed by 30% for 5 seconds. So this is important, this skill, because I have also crispling crabs which you have to put on the enemy for have the major expedition, and I need this skill for have a major expedition without hitting a target. So when I'm pretty in the shit I can get off quick and then I'm away. Here we go with the first bleedDot overtime. Slice an enemy with the both weapons to cause deep lacerations, dealing 1800 physical damage with each weapon and causing them to bleed for additional 10,309 physical damage over 9 seconds. You also heal for 900 something else, so that all you can then boost up goes over 11k 9 seconds. Really cool because of the health every 2 seconds. And yeah, why we use that we have to see also then in the passives from the dual wield, because I use these both skills, increases the damage with the dual wield abilities by 20% against enemies with under 25% of health. So under 25% of health, both skills hit harder. Yes. Then next, increase the weapon damage by 6% of offhand weapon damage. So in this case is the dagger. I wish to have a second axe for have then 3 bleed dots on my main DPS bar, which you have to understand, every axe can shoot out a dot, have 8% chance to shoot out a dot when you make light or heavy attacks. In this case light attacks, because this is a light attack. Heavy attack takes too much time for the quick burst rotation. Then reduce the cost of dual wield abilities by 15%. This is important, so gives you a 15% bonus when it's attacked, stunned, immobilized, disoriented or silenced enemies. You speak really well. Sorry about that, guys. And yeah, that works with while using dual wield attacks. Gives you a 15% damage bonus when attacking stunned, immobilized, disoriented or silenced enemies. When I dodge roll, I have my tactician, I set them off balanced to another 10% with this 15%. Just for both skills increases, not in general. There I'm not sure, I never tested. So, and the last was really important for understand now why I use the axe on this Freedy Kruger build. Each axe gives you a melee attack, a 8% chance to bleed enemy for 11k of physical damage over 6 seconds. This is your small axe. I have just one axe because I make a quick bar rotation. So I make a light attack, then I bar swap, I do another light attack with the big axe. All other is not essential. Okay, each dagger increases your weapon critical rating current bonus by 1095. I have there one dagger, but I wish a second axe. So with this passive, when I do 2 light attacks, I got really much more chance to shoot out these bleed dots, which are free, which are even increased with my blood trinker set, which is awesome. So on the main dual wield bar I have 3 blood damage over time if I slot a second axe. For the moment I have 2 bleed dots over time, which is pretty good and puts under pressure the enemy really much, because you have to understand that bleed dots goes through shields. So I made it this build especially for shield stacker, go simply through and have high damage too. Yes, dark cloak, the duration 2.9 seconds, 3 seconds, that's pretty much all the same. This is same instant cast, Nightblade target self, and cloak yourself in a shadow to become invisible for 2.9 seconds. After invisibility ends, you gain minor protection, reducing reducing your damage taken by 8% for 4 seconds. This is a really important skill. Okay, there you could make shadow in the sky, that's okay, so you crit 100%, but I have a 60% of crit chance. That goes okay if I got then the other buff, minor protection, which is pretty cool. Is for 4 seconds, can save the rest, sometimes depends how hard it hits. Really important. I have there 2 shadow abilities on the main bar, so it reduces not just minor protection, but from the passive you have also this one. Casting a shadow ability grants you major resolve and major ward for 6 seconds, increasing your physical and spell resistance by 5280. This duration is increased by 25% for each piece of heavy armor equipped. So I have 2, makes a 15% longer. It makes some second, not much. But important is because with my blood swarm, when I make this, I have then 3 different things. With my blood swarm I have additional 6000 of both resistances, a chance to have, which when I'm attacked is pretty much the whole time. And with this 5000 here and 8% of minor protection, I find this buff, or this morph, better say it's this morph better than the other for this build. Increases your weapon and spell damage by 10% while you are sneaking or invisible. 2-5 2-8. This one are important. Increases your critical damage done by 10%, again as a Nightblade. Dealing critical damage grants you and your group minor savagery. Increases your weapon critical rating by 657 for 20 seconds. Can be nice for more crit. And then increases your weapon and spell critical rating by 438 for each assassination ability slotted. I have just one in this main bar, and we're gonna look it right now. Relentless focus. Build up deadly momentum to gain minor berserk and minor endurance. Increases your damage done by 8% and stamina recovery by 10% for 20 seconds. While active, hitting an enemy with 5 light or heavy attacks, change this ability into Assassin's Surge, allowing you to fire a single shot from a spectral bow at an enemy to deal 14k of disease damage. That depends, you can boost it up. And when that crit goes, depends, when you are sneak, that really hard hits the double of here showed. And yeah, why is it important to have one of these assassination passives? Better than ambush is relentless focus at the moment. Okay, this is the gap closer, but and why is activated? I need minimum 1 assassination skill, because here you can read with the assassination ability slotted, increases your critical damage done by 10% and the crit chance again. So it's more for the first, for the 10% of crit damage. While off balance another 10%, while sneaking another 10%, while the champion passive another 20%. How much make it? And that's pretty awesome. So on this bar I have minimum 1, and then on the other bar I have this for don't lose the 10% of crit damage. So you have to slot it on both bar, if not you lose it then. I prefer Relentless Focus over the Gap Closer on this build, because simply I need 10% of stamina recovery, because I wish it to be a wood elf on this Nightblade, but there I didn't have time to level up, especially wood elf for this build, but I will soon, that's sure. Surprise attack. Slash enemy dealing 8492 physical damage and afflict them with major fracture, which reduces their physical resistance by 5280 for 70.3 seconds. Attacking with surprise attack while sneaking or invisible stuns the enemy for 4.6 seconds and set them off balance for 5 seconds. So I have boosted up the tactician. I have already a 10% of additional damage when he's off balance, plus when he's stunned for so long time. This is really awesome. I have then the same other time Incapacitating Strike makes the same, stunning them for 4.5 seconds. And yeah, that's awesome. Main spam ability, not cost so much. 2000 is an instant kill. Skill, I'm sorry. And why I'm sneaking is off balanced. Area skill afflicts the enemy 6 meters, a duration from 8 seconds, and cost 150. That's the double of the other skill which I have on my execution bar, but it's okay. Enrage nearby enemy souls with a night rune dealing 10k of magic damage and stunning them for 4.5 seconds. Now I'm interested if I boost it up with minor and major. Brutality goes up to 12k. Ravaged enemies are tethered to you for 8.5 seconds, very important. While they remain with 10 meters of you, you siphon 2000 of health from them every second. So if there are many around in the PvP and you pop this ulti, you never go down. And you make a damage and you stun. So we have on the main bar 2 stunner. Nice. A ranged ally can target a ranged enemy, activate the soul leech synergy, dealing 9750 of magic damage to them and healing for the damage caused. Wow. Just if you pop the synergy, not bad. While not this one here on the main bar. Why? Because from the passives, siphoning passives, very important. Increases your max Magicka by while is a siphoning ability is slotted. 8% of Magicka. So my grasp I get on my back bar is fortunately because of the playstyle, but it's okay. Soul Teeter because of the 8%. If I make this ulti here, I lose 8% and I have to bar swap Crisping Grasp then on the main bar, because one of both you have to have for the 8%. And not just for the 8%. Casting a Scythe ability generates to ultimate. These effects can occur once every 4 seconds. So this is every 4 seconds, that's a lot. And the Crisping Grasp, I have the same every 8 seconds. Sometimes I grasp every 4 seconds for have the whole ulti. Be careful, because grasp are really expensive. More expensive. Or not more, a little bit less expensive, like that dark cloak. Okay, you have just 2 magic abilities, that's okay, but same, be careful, because if you overcast it, so every 5 to 6 seconds is okay, but not too much, if not you run out of your Magicka. For this reason I use also 3 stat potion sometimes. Back bar we have shuffle. This is same instant, self cast 23 second, costs almost 4000 of stamina. This is really expensive, but really important. Surround yourself in a mist to gain major evasion, increasing your dodge chance by 15% for 23 seconds. Every piece of medium armor worn removes a gained immunity to snares and immobilization for 0.5 seconds. If I have 5 medium, so I have a 2.5 second of all immobilization that sneers away. So this goes 23 seconds, but sometime when I block it, I cast it back, quick cloak, and then I cloak away. Awesome skill. Expensive but cool. Grasp, instant skill of enemy, the range 28 meters, duration 8 seconds. Sap enemy agility and bolster your own, dealing 1000 of magic damage and additional 5900 magic damage over 8 seconds, immobilizing them for 1.5 seconds and reducing their movement speed by 14%. You also gain major expedition, increase your movement speed by 13% while your enemy is crippled. You can also have you can just have just one grasp active at the time, so that's awesome for reducing their movement speed by 40%, and it increases your movement speed. So this is for met him under pressure and make him a little bit reducing their movement speed by a lot. And while I cast, I regain my ulti, and grasping around really important for duel, for holding and reducing the movement speed, and yeah, pretty cool. We need also here for the 8% of Magicka, minimum 1 slot that you need for this reason. If you got problem with sustain, Magicka sustain could be your only problem on this build if you overcast too much. Crisping grasp, siphoning strikes, siphoning attacks, which gives 1500 of health together with the race, as Imperial gives you red diamond on light attacks plus the bleedDot, plus every light attack restores Magicka. That all for 20 seconds, and when is finished effect you restore up to 4270 additional Magicka. You could change to siphon attacks if you got Magicka issues. Stamina is pretty OP, sustain is very good, but if you have problem, then you can combo that with the on the light attack, heals you for 1500 of health, and also with the red diamond you boost that together. A lot of health by a light attack and restores 100 of Magicka for 20 seconds. You let this effect run out, then you restore up to 4270 additional Magicka, based on the how long time was active. Yeah. So this, let's see, if you got Magicka problem and you will not use a 3-stat glyph, then you can put siphoning attacks. Pretty cool. If not, Crisping Grasp. Both restores every 4 seconds to ulti, but same. This is the best skill from the whole tree. I didn't have my buffs active. Okay, now it's a little bit different. Let's see actually when I boost up the next skill. Carve. Radius 7 meters. This is pretty large. A large radius by many PP players, so I don't know if you jump in the Zerg, this Carve afflicts pretty much all around. The radius is 7 meters, a cone, and instant. It looks freaking awesome, especially with this axe. How looks like a two-hander sword. Okay, so awesome. Yeah, SWAT enemy in front of you with a mighty swing dealing 4187 of physical damage and causing them a bleed for additional 8400 of physical damage over 10 seconds. That's awesome. You also gain a minor heroism, granting you 1 ultimate every 1.5 seconds for 9 seconds. If you have this every 10 seconds up, or 9 or 10 seconds, perfect first bleed, then this one from the two-hander, we're gonna look now the passives from the two-handed. So while I have all these skills up, your light and heavy attacks damage up to 3 another nervy enemies for 61% of the damage afflicted to the primary target damage. Yeah. Second, Granger bonus, and now while we have here an axe, the bonus which I will have is let's boost it up actually, so then if you do the build you can confront or compare that. Where was it? This minor heroism together with Blood Spawn, which restores another 14 ultimate. If you wanna boost this up, you have to do it with decisive, but I simply have all sharpened, and decisive could be a good option for this. Decisive or charge it, because then later with charge it, your whole poisons you shoot out pretty much cooler and faster. I don't know if cool or fast, but charge it increases a lot of your poison, like this one you see here. Immobilize your victim for 3.5 seconds, increases the cost of your victim magic ability by 30% for, yeah, cooldown. So a charged one could be a nice option. Then the most important PvP skill for this build is Rally. Again, instant skill, self-target. Duration pretty long, 33 seconds. Focus your strength to gain major brutality, increases your weapon damage by 20% for 33 seconds. You heal for Always forget to boost it up for sure then. That's really matter. Boost it up the whole time. You heal you for a 900 or let's say for a 1k of health every 2 seconds. So this is health over time, like the blood grace, which gives you also 1000 of health every 2 seconds. So you can multiply that part 2 and you have already a 2000 of health. Right, yeah, every 2 seconds. And the most important, and an additional 960 sorry, and an additional 9624 of health when rally expires. The final heal is increased by up to 564% in a proportion to how long was active. Has been active, yeah. Next skill, reverse slice. So we have spin around, you strike an enemy down, dealing 4100 physical damage. Deal up to a 300% more damage to the enemy with less than 50% of health. Other nearby takes 84% of the damage afflicted to the primary target. Really important this morph, because so when you are 2 or 3 at the same time and all they have under 50% of health, let's say under 20% of health, then when you boost and you set them off balance, then all the reverse slice, when you see now measures 5000 damage when skipped, but up to 300%, that means with this whole dot increase over time, you can really off balanced also burst up to over 30k of damage one reverse slice, and should be your last attack with incapacitating strike. And reverse slice costs very cheap and is up to 30k every enemy under 20% of health. Pretty awesome. Incapacitating strike. I can't even say this word like a stranger. Ravage enemy with a spinning attack, dealing 13k of diseases damage, stunning them for 4.5 seconds, and increases your damage against them by 20% for 6 seconds. So you have rally, which increases 20%, you have relentless focus, which increases another 8%, and when you cast this one, another 20% of additional damage when he's off balance. The 10 when you are invisible again, a 10 plus 10 for 6 seconds, so you can pop that ulti the whole time if you like. And the stun is huge, like also surprise attack and the grasp, which you have, and afflicts them with major defile. The most important is using their healing AC with and health recovery by 14%. As well, I can pop off this ulti every, I don't know, every 6 or 7 seconds because of Carve and the Blood Swarm. Make that decisive and you can shoot out a perma ulti damage against by 20% the whole time if you play it. Yeah. Reduce their healing and health recovery by 40%. That's huge. Why I have slotted here on this side? Because with the executioner, pretty cool, but more important is, so it's before I have to slot one with an assassination ability slotted, so increases your critical damage done by 10% and also the crit. So very important to have one here and another here. The rotation is pretty much to keep up the whole bleed, so a light attack, a bar swap, a light attack, so you have this whole bleeds active. This is damage over time, like the Crisping Grasp is also a damage over time, so we have 5 damage over time, which are 4 damage over time. No, we have 6 damage over time, I'm sorry. Quick Cloak are also 7k damage over time. And from this 7 damage over time we have 4 bleeds, which is really ugly. And maybe also the sorcerer will make a big ice when you duel sorcerers with this build. For this reason I find it unique, and the build comes from the Freddie Kruger build. Same idea but other monster set, because there I wanna boost up later this triangle combo from Carve, which gains you main realism, then from Bloodspawn, which gains you main heroism 14%. Then when low health one time starts from the champion points, you regain your ulti. A light attack have a counter, so when your light attack starts to go up your ulti, every bar have his own counter. Here, light attack, and a heavy attack, that's a completely other thing. A heavy attack is another counter for regain your ulti. So you have a lot of ulti boost.